Rivals hired snipers to erase the Korean Mafia boss forever, but a black waitress noticed something no one else did. And in that split second, she chose to save his life. The afternoon sun filtered through the oak trees lining Wilshire Boulevard, casting dancing shadows across the sidewalk tables of Café Lumière. It was the kind of Los Angeles spring day that made people forget the city's darkness, warm without being oppressive, a gentle breeze carrying the scent of jasmine from nearby gardens. Selena Washington moved between the outdoor tables with practiced grace, coffee pot in hand, her natural hair pulled back in a silk scarf that matched her eyes, deep brown with flecks of gold when the light hit them right. She'd worked at Café Lumière for 3 years, long enough to recognize the regulars and their patterns. The businessman who always ordered a double espresso at 2 p.m., the elderly couple who shared a slice of lemon tart every Thursday, the USC students who camped out for hours with their laptops. But the man at table 7 was new, and something about him made Selena's instincts prickle with awareness. Park Gyun-min sat with his back to the building. A mistake, Selena thought absently, though she couldn't have said why. He'd arrived 40 minutes ago in a black Mercedes that cost more than she'd make in 5 years, had ordered an Americano without looking at the menu, and had been staring at his phone with an intensity that suggested whatever he was reading wasn't good news. He was beautiful in that sharp, dangerous way that made smart women keep their distance. Perfectly tailored charcoal suit, dark hair styled with casual precision, a face that belonged on magazine covers except for the hardness in his eyes. The kind of hardness that came from seeing things that couldn't be unseen. Selena approached his table, coffee pot raised. Refill. She kept her voice professional, friendly but not inviting. He glanced up and for a moment, their eyes met. His were darker than hers, almost black, and completely unreadable. Thank you. His English was perfect but carried the subtle music of Korean beneath it. As she poured, Selena noticed his hands, elegant with long fingers, but scarred across the knuckles. Fighter's hands, or worse. You're new to the neighborhood, she said, making conversation the way good servers did, building tips through connection. Is it that obvious? A slight smile touched his lips, transforming his face from severe to merely intimidating. I know my regulars. You're not one of them. Selena capped the coffee pot. Business or pleasure? Is there a difference? He took a sip of the fresh coffee, his attention already drifting back to his phone. Selena recognized dismissal when she saw it. She moved to the next table, an older woman who wanted her tea topped up, but her awareness kept snagging on the man at table 7. Something was off. She couldn't define it, couldn't explain it, but her grandmother's voice echoed in her head. When your spirit gets restless, baby girl, that's the ancestors talking. You listen. The cafe's outdoor section was busy for a Wednesday afternoon. A mother with twin toddlers struggled to keep them entertained. A young couple argued in hushed tones over what looked like wedding planning. A group of teenagers laughed too loudly over shared phones. Normal. Everything was normal, except it wasn't. Selena's gaze swept the street out of habit, the habit born from growing up in Lamert Park, where you learned to read your environment or you didn't survive. White van parked across the street, windows tinted too dark. A man in a suit standing at the bus stop who'd been there when she started her shift an hour ago, still hadn't gotten on a bus. Another man, athletic build, hoodie despite the warm weather, leaning against a lamppost with his phone angled wrong, not looking at it, but holding it like a prop. Her heartbeat picked up. Maybe she was being paranoid. Maybe she'd watched too many crime dramas. Maybe. Table 7's phone buzzed. Park Gyun-min answered without greeting, his posture shifting from relaxed to rigid in the space of a breath. Selena was across the patio, couldn't hear his conversation, but she saw his jaw clench, saw his free hand curl into a fist on the table, saw him glance around the street with the sudden alertness of prey, realizing it's being hunted. He stood abruptly, pulling cash from his wallet and dropping it on the table. Too much cash for a single coffee. American bills that he didn't bother to count. He was leaving, getting out, and every instinct Selena had screamed that he was right to run. She moved toward his table to collect the payment, her path taking her between him and the street. That's when she saw it. A tiny red dot, no bigger than the tip of a pen, dancing across the white fabric of the building behind table 7. Then it moved, tracking across the empty space, searching, hunting. The red dot settled on Park Gyun-min's chest, right over his heart. Perfectly steady, professional. And in that crystallized moment, Selena's mind processed everything with perfect clarity. Laser sight sniper. Across the street. Probably the white van. He has maybe 3 seconds before the trigger pulls. And there's no time to shout, no time to warn, only time to. She lunged. The coffee pot fell from her hands as she slammed into Park Yun-min's chest with her full weight, driving him backward. Down! They hit the ground hard, her 5'6" frame somehow managing to take his 6'1" body down as something whistled through the air where his head had been a microsecond earlier. The crack came after, sharp and wrong, like the world breaking. The window behind table 7 exploded, glass raining down in glittering pieces. Time snapped back. Screaming erupted. The mother grabbed her twins and dove under a table. The couple scattered. Teenagers shrieked, finally understanding that the pop wasn't a car backfiring. Selena was on top of Park Yun-min, face inches from his, both breathing hard. Hot coffee soaked into her uniform from the dropped pot. His eyes, those unreadable black eyes, were wide with shock and something else. Something that looked almost like recognition. "Stay down," she gasped, though she didn't know why she was giving orders to a stranger. His hand came up, cupping the back of her head, pressing her face into his shoulder with surprising gentleness. "Don't move. There might be a second shooter." His voice was completely calm, controlled, like getting shot at was just another Wednesday afternoon. They lay there tangled together on coffee-stained concrete while chaos erupted around them. Selena could feel his heart beat against her chest. Steady, unhurried. Could smell expensive cologne mixing with bitter coffee. Could feel the coiled strength in his body, all muscle and restrained power beneath that perfect suit. "The van," she whispered against his shoulder. "White van across the street, and the man at the bus stop. He's a spotter." His hand tightened in her hair, not painfully but possessively. "You saw them? Before the shot?" "I saw the laser, the red dot on your chest." She pulled back slightly to look at him, and found those dark eyes studying her with an intensity that was somehow more frightening than the bullet. "You were about to die." Sirens wailed in the distance. The white van's engine roared to life, tires squealing as it fled. Park Yun-min shifted beneath her, reaching into his jacket, and Selena saw the gun, matte black, compact, deadly. He tracked the van with professional precision but didn't fire. Too many civilians. "We need to move, Ospam," he said, already rolling them both toward an overturned table. "They might circle back for a second attempt." "We need to wait for the police," Selena countered, but he was pulling her to her feet with a grip that was firm and unyielding. "The police can't help with this." His eyes scanned everything. The street, the rooftops, every angle. Then he looked at her, really looked at her. "What's your name?" "Selena. Selena Washington." Her voice was steadier than she felt. "And I just saved your life. So maybe you could tell me who wants you dead badly enough to shoot at you in broad daylight?" A smile ghosted across his lips. Real amusement mixed with something darker. "That's a longer conversation than we have time for." He glanced at the approaching sirens, jaw tightening. "I need to leave before the police arrive. And you're coming with me." "Like hell I am. I'm not going anywhere with Selena." The way he said her name stopped her cold. "You saved my life, which means they saw you do it. Professional hitters don't leave witnesses, especially not witnesses who interfere. You come with me and live, or you stay here and become their next target. Choose. Now." She should have refused, should have screamed for help. But Selena had grown up in neighborhoods where you learned to trust your instincts about danger. And every instinct screamed that this stranger was telling the truth. "If you're a serial killer, I'm going to be really pissed," she said. That smile again, devastating and brief. "Deal. Now move." He kept hold of her wrist, not dragging, but guiding, as they slipped through the cafe's service entrance. His Mercedes waited in the alley, positioned for exactly this kind of escape. He opened the passenger door, practically pushed her inside, then rounded the car with liquid grace. The engine purred to life as police cars screeched to a halt one street over. Park Yun-min pulled out smoothly, drawing no attention despite the chaos erupting nearby. "Put this on and duck down," he said, handing her a baseball cap from the center console. "They might have people watching the exits." Selena obeyed, heart hammering as reality crashed over her. She'd left a crime scene, with a stranger who carried a gun and apparently had professional assassins after him. Her manager was going to fire her. The police would have questions, and her mama's voice echoed from childhood. Girl, you've got more bravery than sense. Where are you taking me? Somewhere safe, somewhere they won't think to look. His voice was calm, focused. Stay down until I say otherwise. They drove in silence, punctuated only by the engine's purr and distant sirens. Selena tried tracking their route, but gave up after the 8th turn. Finally, after 20 minutes that felt like hours, the car slowed and stopped. You can sit up now. They were in an underground parking garage of a luxury high-rise in downtown LA. The kind of building with doormen and security that cost more monthly than Selena's yearly income. Park Gyun-min was already out of the car, moving to her door. Come on, we need to get upstairs before anyone sees you. I'm not going to your apartment. I don't know you. You could be a member of the Korean Mafia who just had a professional hit ordered on him. He met her eyes directly, honest and terrifying. Yes, that's exactly what I am. My name is Park Gyun-min. I run my family's operations in Southern California, and you just saved the life of one of LA's most wanted criminals. He paused. Does that help? Selena stared. You're joking. I'm not. He was still holding her hand, thumb brushing across her knuckles. And I'm sorry you got dragged into this. But Selena, they saw you. Until I figure out who ordered the hit and neutralize the threat, you're in danger. Real danger. So take me to the police. Protective custody can't protect you from the kind of people who want me dead. His expression was grim. But I can, if you trust me. I don't trust you. I don't even know you. Then let me explain everything. And you can decide if staying with me is safer than going home to an apartment they've probably already located. That stopped her. They'd know where I live. They'll know everything about you within the hour. Your address, your schedule, your family, your friends. The elevator doors opened, and he guided her inside, hitting the penthouse button. I'm sorry, but I won't let anything happen to you. That's a promise. As the elevator rose, Selena studied him. Park Gyun-min, Korean Mafia boss, the most wanted man in LA. And somehow, standing next to him, he didn't seem like a monster. He seemed tired, worried, human. Why were you at that cafe? She asked. It seemed random. It was random. I was supposed to meet someone 3 blocks away, but something felt wrong, so I changed locations last minute. Sent my security team to the original spot. His eyes closed briefly. There was a bomb. They're all dead. Oh my God. The cafe was supposed to be safe, somewhere to regroup, but they tracked me anyway. His eyes opened, locked on hers. You weren't supposed to be there, weren't supposed to see anything, and you definitely weren't supposed to save me. The elevator dinged. The doors opened directly into a penthouse that looked like an architecture spread. Floor-to-ceiling windows, minimalist furniture, original art. Beautiful and sterile and completely impersonal. Sit, please. Park Gyun-min gestured to a leather couch. I owe you an explanation. He told her everything. About his family, the Parks, who'd controlled Korean organized crime in Southern California for 3 generations. About his father, murdered 5 years ago by a rival family. About his brother, killed 3 years ago in a territorial dispute. About Park Gyun-min himself, the second son who'd never wanted the business but inherited it anyway. I'm trying to go legitimate, he said, hands clasped between his knees. Slowly, carefully, washing money through real businesses, cutting ties with the worst operations. But change threatens people, both inside my organization and outside it. People who profit from the status quo. So they tried to kill you. So they tried to kill me. This was sophisticated. They knew my schedule, my security protocols, killed my entire team. His hands clenched. Someone inside my organization sold me out. And you think they'll come after me? I know they will. Interfering with a sanctioned hit is a death sentence in my world. You're a witness, a loose end. They'll want to know who you are, what you mean to me, if you can be used as leverage. But I don't mean anything to you. Park Gyun-min's eyes held hers. You saved my life. In my world, that creates a bond that can't be ignored. Whether we like it or not, you're connected to me now. That's insane. That's reality. I have resources. I can protect you until this is resolved. But I can't let you go home. Can't let you return to normal life until the threat is eliminated. So I'm a prisoner? You're a guest. And you're alive. His voice turned fierce. Which is more than you'd be if you went home tonight. Selena wanted to argue, but her grandmother's voice whispered, When someone offers shelter in a storm, baby, you take it. How long? Days, maybe a week. However long it takes to find who ordered the hit and shut them down. I have a job, bills, a life. I'll handle your bills. Your job. He smiled slightly. You'll need a new one anyway. Police will have questions. He had a point. Selena closed her eyes, processing that one split-second decision had upended everything. This is completely insane. Yes. His voice was closer. She opened her eyes to find him crouching in front of her. But you made a choice. You saw danger and acted. Saved me without thinking about the cost. That's not something I'll forget. Anyone would have done the same. No, they wouldn't have. His hand came up, brushing a curl back from her face with devastating gentleness. Thank you for my life. The touch sent electricity through her. This was wrong. This man was a criminal. She should be terrified. Instead, she found herself asking, do you have coffee? If I'm hiding from assassins in a mob boss's penthouse, I need caffeine. His laugh transformed his face. I think I can manage that. The kitchen was all stainless steel and marble. Park Gyun-min moved through it with surprising ease, operating an espresso machine that looked industrial. You actually know how to use that? I'm Korean. Coffee is practically a religion. He glanced at her. How do you take yours? Black. 2 sugars. Sweet but strong. He pulled down ceramic mugs. Most people want to dilute everything, make it easier to swallow. I'm not most people. I'm beginning to realize that. The machine hissed, filling the space with rich espresso scent. You have good instincts, Selena. Not many people would have seen that laser sight. Even fewer would have acted. My grandmother used to say, when danger's coming, you feel it in your bones before your brain catches up. Wise woman. She was. Died 2 years ago. Heart attack. Selena accepted the coffee, inhaling deeply. I wasn't there. She called, said she felt off, asked me to come home early. I said I couldn't. Needed the dinner shift tips. She died before I got there. I'm sorry. Park Gyun-min leaned against the counter. My father was killed 5 years ago. Shot in his own home by someone he trusted. I wasn't there either. Was supposed to be, but I'd taken my brother out for his birthday. His jaw tightened. He died alone because I broke protocol. They looked at each other, 2 people bound by guilt and grief. We can't change the past, he said quietly. Only try to do better now. Is that what you're doing with the legitimate businesses? Trying to. My father built an empire on fear. I'm trying to build something that might actually last, something I won't be ashamed of. Before Selena could respond, Park Gyun-min's phone buzzed. He glanced at it and his entire demeanor shifted, shoulders squaring, expression hardening. Excuse me, I need to take this. He disappeared into an office, leaving Selena alone. She moved to the windows looking out at the city. Somewhere out there, people were hunting her, and her only protection was a mobster she'd met hours ago. What have I gotten myself into? Park Gyun-min returned 10 minutes later, expression grim. I have information. The hit was ordered by the Choi family. Northern California operations trying to expand south. They've put out an open contract, $500,000 for whoever finishes the job. That includes anyone who interfered. Selena's blood ran cold. $500,000 for me? For both of us. His eyes were hard as diamonds. But I'm bringing in my most trusted people. Security who've been with me since before I took over. You'll be protected. Protected by more criminals. Protected by people who'll die before they let anyone hurt you. He moved closer, and Selena found herself backed against the window. I take care of what's mine, Selena. And whether you like it or not, you're under my protection now. I'm not yours. Fair enough, but you're here, in my home, under my guard. That makes you my responsibility. His voice dropped lower. And I don't take responsibility lightly. They were too close. She could see the scar through his eyebrow, the shadow of stubble on his jaw, the pulse in his throat. Could smell his cologne mixing with coffee. You're staring, he said softly. You're in my space. You haven't moved away. Maybe I'm paralyzed with terror. You don't look terrified. His hand came up, fingertips brushing her jaw. You look like you're trying to figure me out. Are you always this forward? Never. I don't date, don't have time for relationships, don't trust easily enough to let anyone close. His thumb brushed across her lower lip. But you threw yourself in front of a bullet for me. That's not nothing. That's instinct, not... Not what? Not interest? Not the same pull I'm feeling? He leaned closer. I looked at you across that cafe and saw something I haven't seen in years. Life. Real life, not just survival. And then you saved me, and I knew. Knew what? That you were going to change everything. He kissed her then, fierce and desperate and tasting like coffee and danger. Selena knew she should push away, maintain distance, protect herself. Instead, her hands fisted in his shirt, pulling him closer. They kissed like people who just survived death, hungry and alive and real. His hands slid into her hair while she explored the hard planes of his chest. When they finally broke apart, both breathing hard, he rested his forehead against hers. That was really stupid? Inevitable. His eyes opened, dark and intense. From the moment you saved me, this was inevitable. We just met hours ago. I know. But Selena, I don't do casual. If we go down this road, you need to understand what it means. It means dating a mobster, having a target on my back. It means loyalty, protection, someone who sees you, really sees you. His hands framed her face. Someone who will move heaven and earth to keep you safe. Before Selena could respond, the doorbell chimed. Park Gyun. Min tensed, hand going to his gun, but then relaxed. My security team. 3 men entered, all Korean, all dangerous looking. The youngest, with blonde-dyed hair and multiple piercings, studied Selena with open curiosity. You're the one who saved him? He asked in English. I tackled him before he got shot, yes. Either very brave or very stupid. I'm Lee Jun SEO, second in, command. He grinned. And professional keeper of this idiot. I'm not an idiot. I'm not an idiot, Park Gyun-min said mildly. You're cursed with subordinates who don't respect you. Jun Seo's smile faded. We've verified the Choi connection. They want this done clean. Both of you eliminated before you can retaliate. Park Gyun-min's jaw set. Then we go on the offensive. I'm not hiding. That's suicide. That's strategy. They expect me to run, so I don't. His eyes were cold, calculating. We end this, now. Jun Seo studied his boss, then nodded slowly. Your call, but full security protocol, and she, he gestured at Selena, stays under constant guard. Agreed. Park Gyun-min turned to Selena. This might get dangerous. I need you to trust my people to protect you while I handle the Choi family. Handle them how? However necessary. The coldness in his voice was absolute. They tried to kill me. Targeted you because you saved me. That can't stand. Selena saw the mobster then, the killer beneath the expensive suit. And strangely, it didn't frighten her as much as it should have. The next hours passed in organized chaos. Jun Seo's team transformed the penthouse into a command center. Laptops appeared, displaying security feeds and intelligence reports. Phone calls were made in rapid Korean. Plans were drawn up with military precision. Selena watched from the sidelines, feeling useless. Finally, she couldn't take it anymore. There must be something I can do. Park Gyun-min looked up from a tablet showing floor plans of what looked like a warehouse. You being safe is what you can do. I'm not good at sitting around while other people handle things. Jun Seo laughed. I like her. She's got spine. He glanced at Park Gyun-min. You could use someone in surveillance. Fresh eyes. Someone they won't expect. Absolutely not. She's a civilian. Who saved your life by seeing details your trained security missed? Jun Seo interrupted. She's observant. That's useful. Selena saw Park Gyun-min's internal struggle, wanting to protect her versus recognizing Jun Seo had a point. Fine, he finally said, but she stays here monitoring feeds remotely. She doesn't go anywhere near the actual operation. Jun Seo showed Selena the setup, multiple screens displaying cameras positioned around a warehouse in the port of Los Angeles. Choi family uses this as their main distribution center. We're hitting it tonight. Your job is to watch for anything unusual. Backup arriving, police presence, anything that might complicate extraction. You're raiding their warehouse? We're sending a message, Park Gyun-min said, coming to stand behind her. In my world, you don't get to try to kill someone and walk away. There are consequences. His hands rested on her shoulders, and despite everything, Selena found the contact comforting. When? 2 hours. We move at dusk. Late enough for cover, early enough that they won't expect it. Park Gyun. Min turned her chair to face him, crouching so they were eye level. If anything goes wrong, Jun Seo has instructions to get you out. There's a safe house in Malibu, cash, and new identity papers. You'll be protected. You're talking like you might not come back. I'm being realistic. What we're doing is dangerous. His hand cupped her cheek. But I meant what I said earlier. You changed everything, and I'm going to come back to you. That's a promise. Selena pulled him closer, kissing him with desperate intensity. When they broke apart, she whispered, "You better, because I'm apparently really bad at self-preservation, and I kind of want to see where this insanity goes." His smile was soft, genuine. Deal. 2 hours later, Selena sat in front of the monitors, watching Park Gyun-min and his team prepare to deploy. They moved with practiced efficiency, checking weapons, synchronizing watches, reviewing the plan one final time. Park Gyun-min had changed into tactical gear that made him look even more dangerous. Before leaving, he came to her one more time. "Stay on comms. If you see anything at all, you tell Jun Seo immediately." "I will. Be careful." "Always am." He kissed her forehead, lingering. "See you soon." And then they were gone, leaving Selena alone with one guard and a wall of monitors showing empty streets around the warehouse. For 20 minutes, nothing happened. The warehouse sat quiet in the fading light. Then Park Gyun-min's voice came through her earpiece. "We're going in. Watch the perimeter." On screen, Selena watched shadows move. Park Gyun-min's team infiltrating from multiple entry points. They moved like ghosts, professionals who'd done this 1,000 times. Then she saw it. On the north camera, a black SUV approaching slowly, headlights off. 2 more behind it. "Jun Seo, you've got incoming. North side, 3 vehicles, moving tactical." "Copy that. Boss, abort. They knew we were coming." Park Gyun-min's voice was cold, controlled. "It's a trap. Everyone out, now." The warehouse exploded into violence. Selena watched in horror as gunfire erupted from multiple directions. Park Gyun-min's team was pinned down, caught between the warehouse defenders and the new arrivals. "They're surrounded," Selena said into the comm, trying to keep her voice steady. "West side, there's a gap in the coverage. Alley between buildings 3 and 4. "Confirmed," Jun Seo responded, moving to west extraction point. On screen, Selena watched Park Gyun-min's team fighting their way toward the alley. They moved with brutal efficiency, but they were outnumbered. One man went down, then another. "They're not going to make it," Selena whispered. Then she saw something else. On the east camera, a figure moving alone along the roofline, setting up a sniper position overlooking the extraction point. "Sniper! East building! Rooftop! He's got line of sight on the alley!" Jun Seo's voice crackled through. "Can't get to him in time. Boss, you've got a shooter on your extraction route." "I see him," Park Gyun-min said, surprisingly calm. "Keep moving. I'll handle it." Selena watched Park Gyun-min break from the group, heading directly toward the building with the sniper. She wanted to scream at him to stop, to stay with his team, to not be a hero. But she bit her tongue and did her job, watching the monitors, calling out threats. 2 more vehicles approaching from the south. You've got maybe 90 seconds before they arrive. Park Gyun-min was on the roof now, moving toward the sniper with predatory grace. The man didn't see him until too late. There was a brief, brutal struggle, and then the sniper was down. "Rooftop clear," Park Gyun-min reported. "Team, move out." Jun Seo and the remaining team members piled into their vehicles and scattered. Park Gyun-min came down from the roof and disappeared into the maze of warehouses. "Boss, where are you?" Jun Seo demanded. "Taking alternative route. Don't wait for me. Get the team to safety." "The hell with that! That's an order, Jun Seo." Selena's heart hammered as she tried to track Park Gyun-min through the cameras, but he'd moved into a blind spot. "I've lost visual on him." For 3 agonizing minutes, there was only static in her own racing pulse. Then, "I'm clear. Heading back." Park Gyun-min's voice, slightly out of breath but alive. Selena sagged in her chair, relief flooding through her. 40 minutes later, the elevator doors opened and Park Gyun-min stepped out. He was sweaty, had a cut on his cheek, and his tactical gear was dirty, but he was whole, alive. Selena launched herself at him. He caught her, arms wrapping tight around her waist, and for a long moment they just held each other. "I told you I'd come back," he murmured into her hair. "You're an idiot. You went after that sniper alone." "Had to. He would have killed my team." He pulled back to look at her. "You did good tonight. Your spotting saved lives." "Did you send your message? To the Choi family?" Park Gyun-min's expression hardened. "We did. They lost 20 men, and their main distribution center is in flames. But more importantly, I made contact with their leadership, told them this ends now or it escalates until one of our organizations doesn't exist anymore. And they're requesting a meeting tomorrow, neutral ground, both sides represented to negotiate terms. Is that good? It's better than continued war. He brushed a thumb across her cheek. One way or another, this ends tomorrow. And then you're safe. What about you? I'm always at risk. That's the life I chose. His eyes softened, but knowing you're safe makes it bearable. That night, Selena couldn't sleep. She found Park Yun-min on the balcony, staring out at the city with a glass of whiskey. Couldn't sleep either, she asked, joining him. Too much on my mind. Tomorrow's meeting could go a dozen different ways, most of them bad. He handed her his glass and she took a sip, the whiskey burning smooth. Tell me about your family, your real family, not the business. Park Yun-min was quiet for a moment. My mother died when I was 10. Cancer. My father never recovered. Threw himself into the business, became harder. My brother and I basically raised ourselves. Your brother, you said he died? 3 years ago. Stupid territorial fight that shouldn't have escalated. He was hot-headed, impulsive. Pain flashed across his face. He died in my arms. Told me to take care of the family, honor our father's legacy. Is that why you're trying to go legitimate? To honor him? Partly, but also because I'm tired of building empires on suffering. My father, my brother, they believe power came from fear, but fear only lasts until someone more frightening comes along. And you want to build something different. I want to build something that lasts, something I'm not ashamed of. He turned to face her fully. What about you? What did you want before life got in the way? To be a chef, not fine dining, but soul food, the kind that makes people feel like family. She smiled at the memory. My grandmother could make anything sing. I wanted to open a restaurant someday, small place where people felt welcome. Why didn't you? Money. And somewhere along the way, I stopped believing it was possible. Park Yun-min studied her with those intense dark eyes. What if I told you it still is? That once this mess is settled, I'd invest in your dream? I'd say you're crazy. You don't even know if I can cook. Then prove it. Tomorrow night after the meeting, cook for me. Show me what you can do. The challenge hung between them. Selena should have refused, should have seen it as charity. Instead, she found herself saying, fine, but if I prove myself, you actually follow through. No backing out. Deal. He pulled her close, and Selena felt the same electric pull as before. But fair warning, I'm already convinced. This is just so I can taste your food. They kissed under the stars, two broken people finding wholeness in each other. When they finally broke apart, Park Yun-min whispered, stay with me tonight, just to sleep, just to be close. I need to know you're real. Selena nodded, and they went inside together. They lay in his bed, fully clothed, her back against his chest, his arms wrapped around her. And for the first time since her grandmother died, Selena felt safe. Morning came too quickly. Park Yun-min was already gone when Selena woke, leaving a note. Meeting at 2 p.m. Stay here, stay safe. I'll be back for dinner. Jia Jun SEO found her in the kitchen, making coffee. He left early, wanted to scout the meeting location, make sure it's secure. Is it going to be okay? The meeting? Honestly, I don't know. The Choi family is unpredictable. They could genuinely want peace, or this could be another trap. He poured himself coffee. But Yun-min is smart, careful. He'll have contingencies. That's not exactly reassuring. It's the best I can offer. Jun SEO studied her over his mug. You're good for him, you know. I haven't seen him this alive in years. Usually he's just going through the motions. But with you, he trailed off. With you, he remembers there's more to life than survival. We barely know each other. Time works differently in our world. When you live with death constantly, you learn to recognize what matters faster. His expression turned serious. Just be patient with him. He's trying to be someone better than he was raised to be. That's not easy. The hours crawled by. Selena tried to distract herself by planning the dinner menu, but her mind kept drifting to Park Yun-min, sitting in a room with people who wanted him dead. At 2:15 p.m., her phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. Meeting started. We'll update soon. Actually, at 2:43 p.m., going better than expected. They want peace. At 3:15 p.m., Finalizing terms, almost done. At 3:58 p.m., nothing. At 4:30 p.m., still nothing. Selena's anxiety spiked. She found Jun Seo in the security room. Have you heard from him? Not since 3:15, but that's not unusual. Sometimes negotiations take time. His phone rang. He answered, listened, and his expression went cold. Understood. On our way. What happened? Shooting at the meeting location. Gyunmin's team called it in. We need to go. Now. I'm coming with you. Absolutely not. I'm coming with you, Selena repeated, her voice brooking no argument. If he's hurt, if he needs help, I'm not sitting here waiting. Junseo saw the determination in her eyes and nodded. Fine, but you stay in the car, you stay down, and you do exactly what I say. They drove through LA at dangerous speeds, Junseo's team following in 2 other vehicles. The meeting location was a restaurant in Koreatown, neutral territory. Police cars and ambulances already surrounded it. Wait here, Junseo ordered, jumping out. Selena watched through the car window, heart in her throat. Junseo spoke with the police, showed credentials that made them step back. Then he disappeared inside. 5 minutes that felt like hours. Then Junseo emerged, supporting Park Gyunmin. He was alive, conscious, but bleeding from his shoulder. Selena was out of the car before Junseo could stop her, running to Park Gyunmin. You're hurt. I'm fine. It's superficial. But he was pale, leaning heavily on Junseo. What happened? Third party, someone who didn't want peace between our families, opened fire during the meeting. Killed 2 of the Choi representatives, wounded 3 of mine. His jaw clenched. But we got him, and the Choi family knows it wasn't us. Who was it? Someone inside my own organization. Someone who profits from the war continuing. Park Gyunmin's eyes were hard as diamonds. Someone who's going to regret that choice. They got him to the car. Junseo drove while Selena pressed gauze against Park Gyunmin's shoulder, trying to slow the bleeding. We need a hospital. No hospitals. Too many questions. Park Gyunmin looked at Junseo. Take us home. I have a doctor on call. Back at the penthouse, a middle-aged Korean woman was already waiting. Dr. Yoon, apparently the Park family's private physician. She worked efficiently, cleaning and stitching the gunshot wound while Park Gyunmin barely flinched. You're lucky, Dr. Yoon said in accented English. Through and through, no major damage, but you need rest, no strenuous activity for at least a week. Noted, Park Gyunmin said, clearly having no intention of following that advice. After Dr. Yoon left, Selena helped Park Gyunmin to his bedroom. He sat on the edge of the bed, suddenly looking exhausted. I'm sorry, he said quietly. This isn't what you signed up for. I didn't sign up for anything. I just saved a stranger's life. Selena sat beside him. But I'm here now, and I'm not going anywhere. He took her hand, threading their fingers together. The betrayal came from my father's oldest friend, Kim Tae-yang. He's been with our family for 30 years, and he sold me out because I'm changing things. Because going legitimate means he loses power and profit. What are you going to do? What I have to? He tried to have me killed twice now. He murdered my security team, endangered you, sabotaged peace negotiations. There's only one response to that. Selena understood what he wasn't saying. You're going to kill him. Yes. Park Gyunmin met her eyes directly, honestly. Does that change things between us? It should have. Should have sent her running. But Selena thought about the sniper's laser dot, about professional killers hunting her, about Park Gyunmin bleeding from a wound meant to kill him, and she realized that in his world, mercy was just another word for weakness. No, she said, it doesn't change anything. But Gyunmin, after this, after you handle Kim Tae-yang and secure the peace with the Choi family, I need you to promise me something. Anything. Promise me you'll really commit to going legitimate, that you'll build the life you told me about. Because I can't watch you bleed forever. Can't keep wondering if today's the day you don't come home. Park Gyunmin cupped her face with his good hand. I promise. After tonight, things change. I'm done living like this. Done sacrificing everything for a legacy built on blood. Tonight, Kim Tae-yang thinks I'm weakened. He'll make another move soon. So I'm going to him first. He pulled her closer. But first, didn't you promise me dinner? Promise to show me what you can do? You were shot 3 hours ago. You should rest. I've been shot before. What I haven't had is a meal cooked by someone I care about. His smile was soft. Please, let me have one normal thing before I finish this. Selena nodded, recognizing that he needed this. Needed something beautiful and ordinary amid all the violence. She cooked with intensity, pouring everything into the meal. The penthouse filled with the sense of her grandmother's kitchen, garlic and butter and spices and love. Park Yun-min sat at the counter, watching her work with an expression that was almost tender. "You move like a dancer," he observed, completely focused but also joyful. "Cooking is meditation for me. When I'm in a kitchen, everything else fades away." She made braised short ribs that fell off the bone, creamy grits with sharp cheddar, collard greens cooked with smoked ham, fresh cornbread, and for dessert, bourbon peach cobbler. When she finally plated everything and set it before him, Park Yun-min looked at the food like it was art. "This is beautiful. Taste it first before you commit to investing." He took a bite of the short ribs and his eyes closed. When they opened again, there was something almost vulnerable in his expression. "My mother used to make short ribs. Different style, Korean preparation, but..." He paused. "This makes me feel the same way. Like home." Selena felt tears prick her eyes. "That's the highest compliment you could give me." They ate in comfortable silence, and Selena watched Park Yun-min truly relax for the first time since she'd met him. No phones, no security updates, no threats. Just good food and quiet companionship. "So?" she asked when he'd finished. "Verdict?" "I'm in. Whatever you want to build, I'll back it. This is..." He gestured at the empty plates. "This is magic, Selena. You're an artist. Don't make promises you can't keep just because the food was good." "I'm not." He reached across the table, taking her hand. "I'm making promises because I see your dream as clearly as you do, and I want to help make it real." Before Selena could respond, Jun Seo appeared in the doorway. "Boss, Kim Tae-yang just walked into his usual restaurant. Same one where he had dinner with your father the night he was killed." Park Yun-min's expression hardened instantly, the moment of peace shattering. He stood, wincing slightly at the pull on his injured shoulder. "Then it's time." He looked at Selena. "I need you to stay here. This won't take long." "Let me come. I can help." "No." His voice was firm. "This is the last piece of my old life. The last thing I need to do before I can move forward. I need you to be safe. To be here when I get back." Selena wanted to argue, but saw the resolve in his eyes. "Promise me you'll come back." "I promise." He kissed her, soft and lingering. "This time tomorrow, it's all over, and we can start building something new." He left with Jun Seo, and Selena was alone again with her thoughts and fears. She cleaned the kitchen methodically, trying not to think about what Park Yun-min was doing, about the man who was about to die because he'd betrayed the wrong person. An hour passed, then another. Selena paced, unable to sit still. Finally, at 11:47 p.m., her phone buzzed. "It's done. Coming home." Relief flooded through her so intensely her knees went weak. She moved to the windows, watching the city lights, waiting. 20 minutes later, Park Yun-min walked through the door. He looked tired, older somehow, but also lighter, like he'd set down a burden he'd been carrying too long. "Is it over?" Selena asked. "It's over. Kim Tae-yang is dead. The Choi family has agreed to peace terms. The contract on both of us is canceled." He crossed to her, pulling her into his arms. "You're safe. We're safe." Selena held him tight, feeling the tension drain from his body. "What happens now?" "Now we build. Your restaurant, my legitimate businesses, a life that's actually worth living." He pulled back to look at her. "If you want it, if you want me. I saved your life less than 48 hours ago. We barely know each other. This is insane." "It is. Completely insane." Park Yun-min smiled, and it was real and warm and full of hope. "But you're the first person who's made me believe in tomorrow instead of just surviving today. So Selena Washington, will you take a chance on this insanity with me?" Selena thought about the red laser dot, the bullets, the fear and violence. But she also thought about his kindness, his honesty, the way he looked at her like she was something precious, about the dream he was offering to help her build. "Yes," she said, "you absolute maniac, yes." He kissed her then, and it tasted like new beginnings, like possibility, like two broken people choosing to build something beautiful from the wreckage of their past. 6 months later, Selena stood in her restaurant, Washington's, named after her grandmother. The space was warm and welcoming, decorated with family photos and filled with the sense of her childhood. The soft opening had been a success, every table full of people who'd come for the food and stayed for the feeling of home she'd created. Park Yun-min sat at the corner table, the same one he'd claimed opening night and every night since. He'd kept his promises, had gone fully legitimate, transformed his family's empire into a network of legal businesses, invested in the community. And every evening, he came to her restaurant, sat at his table, and waited for her to bring him whatever she'd created that day. "How was tonight's special?" Selena asked, sliding into the seat across from him after the last customer left. "Perfect, as always." He reached across the table, taking her hand. On her finger, a ring caught the light. He'd proposed 2 months ago in this very restaurant, with the entire evening service as witnesses. "I still can't believe this is real sometimes," Selena admitted, "that I went from serving coffee to owning my own place, that I found you because someone tried to kill you. Best near-death experience I ever had." Park Gyunmin's smile was soft. "You saved my life that day, Selena, in more ways than one." They sat in comfortable silence. Two people who'd found each other in the most impossible circumstances and chosen to build something beautiful. The waitress and the reformed mobster writing their own ending. And as they locked up the restaurant and walked out into the Los Angeles night, hand in hand, Selena Washington realized something crucial. Sometimes the best things in life come from the moments when you stop thinking and just act. When you see danger coming for a stranger and throw yourself in the way. When you save a life and in the process, find your own.